What's up, guys? F Focus, and we are not on Escape from Tarkov, as you can tell. We are on my YouTube channel. My videos, to be exact, from 7 years ago. And guess what? It goes further. Episode 1 was almost 8 years ago. Almost 8 years ago. Okay? This is my very first video of Tarkov ever. And I have it pulled up here on the other screen. If you look in the bottom left, you will see 0.1.0.1403 alpha version. That's why the game looks a little bit different. Wow, look at that. Looks a lot different, doesn't it? That was when the game was good. Okay, but I'm not here to talk about whether or not the game is good on Escape from Tarkov. I'm here to talk about this bandwagon that people are jumping on. Okay? People are jumping on this bandwagon of, oh my gosh, PvE is going to kill PvP, blah, blah, blah. When a lot of these other content creators that are saying this have no idea what PvE is even like. I've seen Tulu, I think is his name, his video on it, and he played a couple days on PvE. He got to like level 15 or something. You can't experience PvE in just a couple days. I'm sorry, but you just can't. Some people might agree and say you can. Some people might say you can't. You can't. That's like playing Tarkov for 2 days and giving a review saying it's a bad game. And it's funny because all of these content creators are telling you that you need hundreds of hours in PvP in Escape from Tarkov to even gain the knowledge to play it. And I agree with that. So you're looking at it from the wrong perspective. You're looking at it from your perspective that has hundreds of hours, thousands of hours into Tarkov before PvE was even a thing, and you're saying that it's stale and it's not worth it. It might be stale for you, but why don't you look at it in the general statement, in a broad statement of, hey, this is what we have, this is what's going on. Because you can't. Nobody will experience the hardcore level of Tarkov that us veterans know, like myself. Back in the alpha stages, if you had a black leg and you hit that piece of barbed wire like I just hit, you die. If you have anything blacked and you take 1 point of damage, you die. Whether it's your arm or your leg, you instantly die. And you only rocked kivers and fort armor. And that is why I think that I'm certified, so to speak, to give my input on this. And we won't go into it in detail. I won't make you guys continuously watch alpha gameplay. I just wanted to let you guys know that I've been around for a very long time and I've played PvE for a very, very long time. Okay? That's why I think that I'm qualified to talk about what I'm talking about. So now that the rant's over with, and those of you that are still here that maybe believe me and agree with me, awesome. I appreciate it. You guys are fantastic. PvE has changed a lot for most players, myself included. Now, like I said, I have played since 7 years ago. I have played every wipe except for 2. And if I don't play this one, it'll be 3. And every single wipe that I play, I get at least level 45 or at least level 50. In most cases, level 50 to 55 plus. I play a bunch of Tarkov. Okay? Now, after looking at some Reddit posts and some other polls that other content creators have done, I know that I am the minority. And you're even bigger of a minority if you get Kappa and or do Lightkeeper. Because nobody does that shit unless you're a full-time streamer or content creator. Or you just don't have any responsibilities and you live with, your mom and you don't have to worry about working. Which we'll get into more detail on that when I start listing facts on it, okay? The bottom line is most players don't get even max traders before it wipes. And some wipes last even 4 to 6 months. So you're talking half a year and people don't even get to experience either mid-game to late-game content before it wipes and they have to start all the way back over. How sad is that? How does that make you feel? Okay? So let's just go ahead and jump into it since I've been ranting long enough. I've tried to record this video a bunch, and everybody knows I'm terrible at it. I'm raw dogging this. I'm not sitting here writing a script or anything else. So, PvP. Bottom line, nobody can disagree with me. It has cheaters. and it has a lot of them, has a very, very, very bad cheater problem. Okay, like not even, you can't even question it. Okay, and I'm gonna prove my point here, and it's very important that I think that I do prove my point here, because a lot of players may not necessarily believe me on it. So what we're looking at here is messages between me and said hacker. Okay, so this is Discord, or his profile. So I got killed by him with an SVD because that seems to be their cheat of choice. And this is back in 2001. 2001. It is 2024. Okay? Anyway, more reports, more bans equal cost more. So he sent me some stuff. I didn't join it, obviously. But anyway, he said best of luck, no worries, peace. And that's the last I ever talked to him. This is 2001. This is years ago. Okay? The reason I'm bringing this up is because a lot of people say, well, cheaters aren't even that bad. This particular night, Salty Tyler and I ran into multiple cheaters. Okay? And I'm not talking a few, I'm talking multiple cheaters Salty Tyler and I ran into that day alone. Okay? Cheaters are a thing. And usually early wipe, they're less of a thing. But they still are a thing. Okay? And that's a big rant on cheaters that I don't want to go into. If you guys want me to go more into it, I have a couple more messages between other cheaters. I was going to make a video on that fucking back in 2001, and I just never did. So, moving on to my next point, queue times. Early wipe, the amount of time you are going to set in queue is astonishing. It's absolutely insane. As a matter of fact, some people who take off work to play Tarkov the day of, I think are retarded, because you're going to be in fucking loading simulator for at least a week. And I haven't played this new wipe, so I don't know how well that is. Maybe they're doing better on their server since a lot of people quit and moved over to PvE. I think that like a massive player base moved over to PvE, according to what Nikita said. And like 70% of that massive player base that moved over plays solo. Which ties into that long queue time point. If you play solo in PvE, excluding streets, unless they've changed something since I've last played, it's local, which means you don't have to wait for somebody. Queue times are instant, which means not a loading sim, and more time you get to spend in game, since you already spend too much time in the menus of Tarkov rather than even playing it. Which is why a lot of people like the gray zone, because you're actually in the game all the time, which is also one of the hates that people have even on Arena Breakout Infinite. You're just in the menus too much, less time playing, especially if you die a lot. So raids are instant, more time in game. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want to play a local raid on labs or customs? The game runs smooth. Now, if you don't have the best PC, maybe not as much, but from what I've been told by other people, it runs awesome, and they love it. So, the other thing that also plays into the whole local side of things, there's no desyncy issues. I haven't yet to find one person that has played PvE on Tarkov that has told me that things don't feel smooth as hell. When you shoot somebody, they die. When you shoot at somebody, hits register. There's contact. Things happen. You very, very, very rarely come into desync issues, and that's because your game is having a hard time running things. Whether that be an issue with RAM, you're leaking some type of memory leak, which does happen in Tarkov, and things are just, you just have issues with them. Okay, I still have certain bugs and skips and stuff that I have on streets, but I haven't had those on any other maps. My game runs smooth. I love it. No desyncy problems. Okay. Another problem that people have versus PvE and PvP plays back into just basically how the game plays versus a run and gun and giga chads and a tactical shooter. Back in the video that you watched earlier, in alpha, there were no such thing as run and gun chads. They just weren't. Okay? Because if you were posted up waiting, and I know this because I was well known for customs. As a matter of fact, they called me the Ghost of Customs. That was my title when I was a big content creator. It's because I would ambush people. I would set up tactical ambushes. I would know the choke points on customs back when it was very linear and you had to push by overpass, by gas station, old gas, and bus, and you could pick people off. It was basically whoever got to that choke point first controlled the map, because everybody spawned on one side. There was no boilers, east and west spawn, boilers and Big Red. It was all one side. Now there's a run and gun. I mean, if I can pull up any of the big time streamers and I could watch them run, like Willer Z and stuff. I can watch them run, jump as they're free looking, jump 15 feet in the air just to jump backwards like they're bunny hopping everywhere. How is that realistic? And then they do a jump shot over the barbed wire wall on customs and then fucking head tap you from fucking 70 meters away at a fucking point fire as they're bee hopping. Nobody wants that shit. And the ones that do want it, go play Call of Duty. Or keep playing Tarkov, but don't complain that people are having fun in PvE. You know what I mean? And then that goes to my second to last point that I'm going to make on it, because this video is going to be going long enough, and since I'm raw dogging it, I don't want to bore people too much. But this whole mentality that I've seen from all these other content creators like Air Wing, I believe his name is, and Lude 2, basically summing it up, telling you to get good at the game, is a load of bullshit. Okay? As somebody who has played this game for 7 years, and I've said that enough, I sound like a broken record, but as somebody who's played that game for 7 years that gets to the in-game content every single wipe, I can tell you that it's not a get good situation. Okay? It mainly boils down to the fun experience that you want to have. Okay, some people may not enjoy running around bee hopping on top of trains, over walls, just W keying it like all you other ones. And I'm not discrediting saying that you can't W key, because I love when players W key, because when I'm posted up for an ambush, a lot of the times I win unless I get face checked. Usually when I die is I have to go through the map, do a quest, and I run into somebody in dorms when I've got my PSO SKS because I'm level 15 and they're level 35 rocking a spear. I usually don't win. Okay? But every single wipe, if I die early, I always push with at least a 50 or 60 or even 70% survival rate, no matter what wipe I play, because of how I play, my play style. A lot of the W key players, I've had a lot of messages back and forth between other players like Diabetes and other ones that have buddies that just W key, and they say that their survival rate is 15 to 20%. I would lose my mind, and now that you can check people's stats, I would be embarrassed. But we got different play styles. Okay? And I think that Tarkov should be able to be played how you want it. And I don't want to go into like certain patch notes and stuff like that, since 0.15 just came out. But it's basically rewarding the Giga Chads and it's punishing the slow players. I don't really encourage extract camping, stuff like that, camping in general. But people who play slow that complain about camping, I consider it a tactical ambush, not necessarily camping. If you're watching extracts, that's a little campy and a little scummy. I don't really agree with Stinkrat's playstyle. But I don't think it's bad to lay down and post up places and pick people off. Okay? And I think that with this new karma system, it's going to encourage run and gun, and it's trying to remove the realism. It's a game, so how realistic is it, right? But it's removing what little bit of realism is left in Escape from Tarkov. Okay? That's my opinion on it. You're more than welcome to dispute me down in the comments. And the biggest fucking thing that I think people are getting wrong with all these damn content creators that are saying one thing or the other that is totally blown out of proportion and is 100% bullshit is the simple fact of no lifing the game for content creators. You're telling me that if you can put 100 hours a week into the game, and that's probably stretching it, but you can put 50, 60, 70 hours a week into this game because you play it for 10 hours a day, making money off of it, you're going to tell me, like I said, just the last point of getting good, and or you're telling me that you want to cap the progress of PvE because what? Because you can play it so much? I'm going to speak for a large majority of the player base. Content creators make up a small portion of the Escape from Tarkov player base, especially the big ones. So I'm speaking for the majority when I say that the PvE has let the dads of Tarkov have fun. We enjoy it. We love it. Okay? Look at my stats on PvE. I'm level 57. And more importantly, look down here. I have Kappa. I've never had Kappa. And I've gotten to max traders level 50 to 55 plus every single raid. Because it's difficult. I've even started doing Lightkeeper tasks. And I've never done those before. And this is only possible because of PvE. This is only possible because of PvE. I've even gone as far as doing a new quest. I've got the bigger pockets, and I don't even have the fucking whatever the fucking different version is. Okay? So I get to enjoy the game on my own time. I can walk away for a week and come back and still feel relevant and still have fun. Get laser beamed by fucking Tequila. Get fucking killed way too many times by Killa because I fucking hate that guy and his face shield is bullshit. And I can still have fun. I can experiment with new weapons. I can even take up this fucking flip site that nobody takes because it's blurry and it's dog shit. But I can take it because I don't have to go against other chads that only rock meta guns, and if you don't jump on the bandwagon, you don't have fun. So all these other guns in Tarkov, I get to enjoy. I get to have fun. I haven't rocked a mutant. The fucking G28 is one of my favorite guns in the entire game. You know what I mean? I get to actually rock the fucking 338 Lapua, which I never got to rock before. If you haven't played PvE and you're some of those group of players that can't make it past level 20 to 25, I highly encourage picking up PvE. Okay? For all those other content creators saying that you won't learn Tarkov, it'll give you the wrong idea. You'll be a terrible PvP player in Tarkov if you only play PvE. I tell you to put a big middle finger up and tell them to go fuck themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's a fucking video game, man. Whether you're a dad or an 18-year-old kid that just got off a summer break and is going back to school, you're in college, it doesn't fucking matter. PvE is enjoyable by everyone, and PvP is enjoyable by a few select players. Okay? Anybody and everybody who has played games like this, like Gray Zone, most of the players played PvE only. And it has nothing to do with the fact that Gray Zone PvP sucks ass. Or it did. I haven't played it in a long time. But you get to play with these guns. You get to experience awesome things that you never got to experience before. And you have that fear of not wanting to lose it, but that reassurance in that if you insured it, you'll always get it back because it's PvE. Why is that a problem? Why are our content creators like Lu2 and Tulu or whatever his name is telling you that there's no risk and reward? Why does there have to be risk and reward in Tarkov? It's already a highly stimulated game. You're crazy stimulated when you're playing the game. Why do you have to have that fear of if I die I lose everything? Some people love that, and that's why I started loving the game, because it's high risk, high reward. But sometimes, after I just got done working 12 hours and I have a little bit of downtime after I put the kids to bed, I just want to kind of kick back and I want to snipe with an M700 or a 338 Lapua, and I just want to chill. I don't want to have to worry about quests or running into somebody who's level 957 that's just going to fucking laser beam me across the corner. Or I go to lay down on my spot that nobody knows about, and I just get fucking headshot across the way by a level 2 player with 5 hours that has a fucking 715 KD. You know what I mean? PvE is a version of the game for casual players and dads, and I use that, just as a term for casual players, but for dads to come and enjoy Tarkov. Why does there have to be a catch? There doesn't. Okay, there doesn't. And I'm not bashing. I don't want to sit here and bash all the content creators like Airwing and Tulu, Lu2. I don't want to bash any of those guys, but I just want to tell them that they've got the wrong impression of PvE. Okay, PvE was the best decision that Battlestate Games has ever made, and if PvE is going to pull from the player base on PvP, then let me tell you something: BSG is doing something wrong, because PvP will always trump PvE, no matter what. There will always be more content on PvP than PvE. Be it more of a high risk, high reward stake. Sure. Slower progressing. Sure. The fact that it constantly wipes. Sure. There's a niche for everybody, but at the end of the day, the interactions that you get with other players on PvP is going to be like no other. Okay? However, sometimes a lot of people want to put in their time at work, come home, and not have that interaction. And the fact that you want to limit the end game, like some people are saying, or you want to pull the reins back and have fewer updates on PvE, like this is a fucking version of Minecraft from Xbox to PC, fucking Bedrock to Java bullshit, is insane to me. It's the same fucking game, updated the same way, and let people play however the fuck that they want to play. Bottom line. Okay, this has been a long rant. I've raw dogged the shit out of this video. I probably said stuff that maybe doesn't make any sense. I've probably said way more times than I should because that's what I do. But I'm pretty passionate about this bandwagon that people are jumping on, and I think the people are going in the wrong direction. So you want to know my answer? I'll leave a fucking timestamp it down below. PvE is by far the best fucking thing that BSG has ever done with this community. I'll always go back to PvP and I'll have fun on it. But you know what? PvE, for me now, especially that I become a dad and I don't have much time, has been a lifesaver. I get my Tarkov's itch and there's no repercussion. So, with that, guys, I appreciate some of you listening to my rant. Hopefully this gets out to other people, that you can see from both sides, that you know somebody who's played a bunch of PvE and a shit ton of PvP, not just somebody who played it for a couple of days and or a couple streams saying that they know everything about it, know all the ins and outs about it, when it's just not true. When it's somebody, I've maxed out the hideout in both fucking versions of the game. I've done everything in both versions of the game. I'm it. Okay? So, without further ado, guys, it's been a long time. Hello, everybody. Anthony, you're a legend, my friend. Hit that like button, subscribe, share if you want to. And as always, enjoy.